Johnson. This is well set up to Banfield. And Banfield has drilled it. And there's a big smile on the face there of Clark Keating. And Clark, you can't get any better than that.
That's right, you can't get any better than that. It's great teamwork there. Like, as I was saying before, long and direct is the way to go. And the crummers there from Bradshaw's attempt there for a mark from Fletcher out to Johnson out to Banfield was just a great play by the Lions.
Banfield does have terrific kicking skills, Clark.
Sorry, what was that?
He does have terrific kicking skills.
He certainly does. He's got great kicking skills, Banfield. He's just one of those reliable players you can rely on anywhere around the ground.
Well, that is the biggest margin of the game. 34 points. And KB was just saying, don't write off the Bombers. They were 40 down at three-quarter time last week against Collingwood and got themselves in a winning chance, lost by 10 eventually. So they can come home. Hardwick. Moorcroft stays down. Good mark, Cransberg.
He's been an unlucky player, Cransberg. He's been at Essendon now for must be about 8 years. And in that period of time has just played 78 games. But, you know, he's had a lot of injuries, Peter Cransberg. But you can see by that he's got a tremendous amount of talent.
His 1990 was, in fact, his debut year.
So that's 8 seasons.
And from a set shot, I'm not sure about it. Goal. His first for the night. And maybe it just gives the Bombers a little bit of a lift.
And there is not many positions on the field he hasn't played. You must say that, Peter Cransberg. He's played in the ruck, he's played forward, he's played back. He's had to go all over the field, and certainly at full forward just at this point came out and a good strong hand, good leap at the ball.
Bombers drag it back to 28 points. There he is, Kevin Sheedy. Just having a good look at that board. Can he pull off some magic moves to get the Bombers back and winning this game? Free kick, that always helps. Goes to McAllister. So his first game of AFL football, maybe too far out to score. But he gets good distance, so it's a chance with the ball lobbing in the square. Cransberg went up one hand. Lynch. Been very impressive since coming on the ground. The handball didn't really hit a target, but at least it's out in front of Tristan Lynch, who tries to paddle the ball along. O'Donnell did well. Kicked off the ground by Cockatoo Collins. Gains about 20 metres. And we see Rick Ollerenshaw also having some stretching exercises done on the boundary line. So maybe we'll see Ollerenshaw back in the fray. Ashcroft. Well done by Gowers. Tried to slap it towards the boundary line and succeeds with Cockatoo Collins taking it over.
It was interesting that Gowers knew that he was in trouble and all he could do, so he went towards the boundary. That's always the best friend in the defensive half. The play before, Tristan Lynch just didn't play the ball out wide, allow the ball to get back inside, even though Cockatoo Collins eventually kicked it out on the full or out of bounds.
Danaher to Cockatoo Collins, who fumbled. And the ball pinned into Lucas, and that'll be a ball up. Well, Essendon have kicked only 2 goals since half-time, so it doesn't indicate that they're likely to turn around and kick 5 goals to nothing to pinch the game. But you just never know. They did come home strongly last week against Collingwood. Somerville wins. Young puts it out in front. Denham on the 50, inside 50. Back to Young. Goal will be handy. Barry Young's got it. So that's 2 in a row for the Bombers. Maybe they are mounting something.
Well, they certainly haven't lied down all night. The Brisbane got away in that second quarter and Essendon pegged them back. And certainly the first 2 goals of the last quarter really made the game look fairly safe for Brisbane. But they've got the last couple, Essendon, so they've got a bit of a sniff. This next centre bounce, this next goal, Essendon get it there a chance. Brisbane get it. Their prime is probably won.
Johnny Northey and Roger Merritt, they'd be a bit disappointed the Bombers have got the last 2 goals. Somerville went up before acceptances and he's given away the free to Clark. So Banfield, right through the centre square. O'Donnell, the skipper, juggles it, couldn't take it. McRae slaps it on. Mercury goes wide. Looking for Danaher. Did well to tap it over. Berbatov was caught. Ashcroft back to Banfield. And Banfield has kicked another ripper. Well, they've certainly found a player the last couple of weeks because he was tremendous when he came on against Port Adelaide.
Yes,
he's been very good again tonight.
Yes, he's got pace and he's got run. It was interesting. Moorcroft, who's his direct opponent at the moment, went and played as a 7th forward at that centre bounce. Banfield went back with him as he suppose as a 7th defender. Of course, he came through, got the hand pass off Clark, followed it on, received the hand pass, and then finished from almost the direct spot that he kicked the last goal from. So, great ability to use the ball accurately as Scott Banfield.
Yeah, it's just his 9th senior game this year, so he doesn't look like he's a sort of player who's going to be in their best 21, but he's going to cement a spot for a finals berth, you'd reckon. Here goes Hardwick. Hand pass out in front of Moorcroft. Moorcroft off the left. Gets one back for the Bombers. Well, they've kicked 3 out of the last 4.
And they've nearly cleaned the slate of that last goal of Banfield. They've got that one so quickly.
Yes, they did get it quick. Certainly as players have tired a little bit later in the game, the defensive skills that were there early in the game have dropped off just a little bit, and the scoreboard has started to tick a little bit as well. But again, it's almost a direct example. If you get the ball straight from the centre square directly at your goals, it's amazing how many times goals will be kicked from those forward thrusts.
Well, the Bombers will always take risks. They'll always have players, prepared to run, create space, become an option, and if they can get the run on, well, they score lots of goals quickly. Young's kick's been marked by Banfield. So with 2 goals, Banfield has been a major player. Both goals in this last quarter. Richard Champion also has bagged a couple. Taken by Wellman, caught, lost it. Berbatov kicks it off the ground. Inside the centre square, Lucas. Bent down, great skills for a big man, then just tumbles the ball back. And there's Lynch. It's been strong. Looks like he's finding some form. They'll be pleased about that. We were told that he had to have a jab before the game in the ankle. That's why he sat on the interchange bench. Champion, he'll kick the ball long. So Somerville, Leppich the high flyer, what a grab! Sensational grab by Justin Leppich. Somerville was there in front, and he went up and away. And has taken a screamer.
He was just a step ladder, Somerville here. Leppich knew that he had to jump on Somerville if he had any chance of marking the ball. So it was a question, could he actually time his leap well enough to get the elevation, stay up there, and actually mark the ball when it arrived? And he certainly did it. And once his hands touched the ball, it never looked like slipping from his grasp.
It was handy getting a pep talk from Richard Champion to miss one from 15 metres out. Justin Leppich, don't let Richard Champion get in here. He's put it out of bounds on the full.
Jonity. So Leppich from 5 kicks, 3 goals and 2 out of bounds. Mark of the night.
It was a nice jump, wasn't it?
Bombers still in the hunt, 22 points the margin. Young, the hand pass to Cockatoo Collins. Bit of run coming here. Pryor. Cocky was put down after he got rid of his hand passer. Relayed free. Goes to Michael Pryor. He bounces through the cricket pitch area. Straight to attack. Kransberg waits. Can't quite take the mark. And that'll be a ball up 35 metres out from goal. Plenty of time left. Over 11 minutes remaining. If the Bombers could kick 4 goals to nothing, they could steal a game that they've trailed all night.
Well, they trailed by a point at quarter time, 8 points at half time, and 23 points at 3/4 time.
Well, Clark gave it straight to the opposition. Lynch charged straight at the ball. Well done. Clark recovered. Hand pass to White.
Who goes wide. Lappin's his target. He's got Wellman to beat.
That's interesting, wasn't it? Lynch, the ball, that bouncing over ball was coming at him. What did he do? It could have actually bounced around him, but he just, fortune favours the brave sometimes. He come and met the ball, was able to sock it off the ground and straight to a Brisbane teammate, and it rebounded just as easily. Maybe it could have bounced awkwardly and favoured Lloyd.
Caracella was beaten this time. Gowers back to Fletcher. Milestone game tonight, 150 games. Chrissy Johnson. Well, he's booted 3 goals from outside 50. Now this could bounce through. It's bouncing. He's got it.
No poster.
What? Hit the post. Well, thought it got in. So there's a bit of booing. So it'll be interesting to see this.
The goal umpire was in the perfect position to see it, really. Well,
now was it? Did it hit the back side of the goalpost?
Well, I
look at
must
the
say,
padding down there.
In that situation, the goal umpire is in the best position, but if it was doing it from the replay, you might have disputed it.
Well, maybe the chance is still there for the Bombers. Hardwick on the half-forward line. Banfield runs it over.
Is that the same goal umpire who tried to overrule from 150 metres away on Darryl White's point?
I think the goal umpire who paid that really controversial goal last week to Port Adelaide's Michael Wilson, in fact, was demoted this week.
Yes, he's umpiring in the quaffle. Mercury. Ton of ability. Unfortunately, he's had a lot of injuries. Still a chance for the Bombers on their half-forward line. They trail 96-73. So a 23-point deficit, which was the margin at three-quarter time.
Somerville edges out Clark. Matty Clark comes back very well. Young did well. Deep inside 50. Chance for Lloyd. Pops it over the top. Goal for Cransburg. No, he gives off. Moorcroft gets it. Two in the last quarter for Gary Moorcroft, and it's 17 the difference.
Well, we spoke about when you come to meet a bouncing ball. Have a look at this one. Alistair Lynch again. This time the bouncing ball eluded him. And the fact that he met the ball ended up being costly because it went to Lloyd, over to Cransburg, over to Moorcroft for the goal.
Well, Brisbane's season is on the line. In this last 10 minutes of action, we know they've got the West Coast top observers here tonight watching the game because Brisbane's got to play West Coast next week. Here come the Bombers once more. Lynch, tower of strength, bombs the ball out of defence, kicks the ball back. O'Donnell from behind, the skipper, a high flyer. The cockatoo, Collins. You can feel the confidence rising in the Bombers. He goes wide, they can raffle this. Young's got it. Bingo, lucky 35. So 79 plays 96. Young's a good 60 metres out.
He's been all right in the last quarter, Barry Young.
Again, the 2-on-1. Alistair Lynch just arrived late. Not quite late enough for a 50-metre penalty. But
pops it out in front. Wellman. Now, he could be within kicking distance. So White on the sidelines. Looks to be in a fair amount of pain.
Essendon just might have popped an extra player into the forward line, and all of the Brisbane players just might have lost their matchups just quickly. Something I think Essendon did just when they had to really roll the dice to make up this margin.
So Wellman, this is a great kick off the boot, right on the goal line to Mark Lloyd. Tremendous kick by Wellman, and Lloyd, who has been kept very quiet since half-time by Alistair Lynch.
And this will be one of those situations. Again, Lynch is the man on the mark. The umpire will line Lloyd up with the centre of the goals, which means he's going to be on this incredibly acute angle. It'll be a good camera shot. We'll see what Lloyd does. I think he just has to really be very careful, think his way through it. Well, he's come out very quick and kicked the goal.
He's got it. Got a ball game. He's kicked 4 goals. And Lee, that's one of the rules I'd like to see the rules committee look at. If you take a mark in the goal square, that you're not put back on that acute angle, that in fact you can come out to the directly out from goal. So we can see this great kick by Wellman.
It's just a great jump, isn't it, by Lloyd? Somehow or other, Lynch had lost him for that moment. He came out very quick. I thought he could have got in a much closer and then came out to open up the angle, but he certainly did it well.
Let's go down to Dipper. What's the report on Darryl White?
Yeah, one of the most important players for the Brisbane Lions is off the ground with a thigh injury, and we won't expect him to be back on the ground.
Well, the Bombers have kicked 5 of the last 6 goals, and it's just 11 points the margin with plenty of time left. 8 minutes remaining in the game. Barry Young again goes wide. Carosella trails the race. McAllister, number 4. Daniel McAllister, last-minute inclusion tonight for Justin Blumfield, making his debut. And what a fairy tale it would be if you debut in a game where the Bombers get up maybe by a point in a thriller. It could finish up that way. They're coming back hard at the Lions. Hardwick centres the ball. Michael Pryor marks, hits the ground running, inside 50. A goal will put them within a kick, and he's got it! The Bombers out of the blue.
Well, this is an amazing situation. A couple of times we've seen Brisbane get clear and Essendon to overtake them, but this is serious stuff for Brisbane. This could be a fine late position hanging on this last 7 or 8 minutes of play again. I think Pryor just drifted forward without any direct Brisbane opponent on him. I think Essendon, as I said, they've played an extra forward. At the moment, they're lining 7 players in their forward half, and the Brisbane defensive matchups all of a sudden have just got a bit messed up.
Well, the Brisbane season is on the line here. Here comes the Bombers once more. Out of the centre square. Danaher pumps it back to the half-forward line. Lloyd had it, lost it. Moorcroft's been terrific. He's kicked 2 goals in the last quarter. Hardwick back to Moorcroft. Like the raging bull, gets it back. Lloyd into the square. Kransberg with the flight of the ball. And it's out on the full. A 5-point ball game. 14-12-96 the Lions. The Bombers 14-7-91. They're led by 23 points at 3/4 time, Brisbane. Mercury feeds it off to Denham. Quick hands, back to Danaher. Didn't quite hit a target. Fletcher does well. Racamanis. So a bit of pace out of defence. He's off. He's in full burst. The kick's a poor one. Backing back. Great grab. Wellman's got it. Not paid. Johnson. Taken by Cockatoo Collins.
Play on, said the umpire.
Well, the ball, I think, only went a few metres. I don't think it was anywhere near a 10-metre kick. And the umpire obviously agreed. Just, well, 7 or 8, but certainly not 10.
Well, I've seen it paid before that sort of distance. 5 points. You can see the time clock there. Just under 7 minutes of action left.
Lions led by 34 points at the 5-minute mark in this last term.
It's a bad bounce. Mercury slaps the ball on. Denham did well. Looked like it was caught high. He's got it. There's Matty Clark on the boundary line as well, so some danger here for Brisbane. Their main ruckman off. Clark Keating's also in the crowd. Here's Price. She's kicked a great goal. So the Bombers on the rebound, down towards centre half forward. Hardwick's got it. So from the edge of the square, kicks inside 50. Here comes Kransberg, the high fly at the back of the pack. Berbakoff. It's a floater. 4 points. 96 plays 92. Clark, the season is on the line here for the Brisbane Lions.
There certainly is. The season's on the line. If we lose tonight, it's going to be a hard game next week over in Western Australia against West Coast. But Matty's cramping up. Daniel Scott's out there now. I'm sure he'll do a better job to cover.
Well, the main thing is he's fit.
Lions by 4 points after they led earlier in this quarter by 34. Bradshaw back in defence. Gets it up to the wing. Gowers in about 25 metres of space. He's got Fletcher ahead. He goes longer for Johnson. No mark. Wellman gave it to Leppich. Wellman again. Mercury bangs out a hand pass. Lucas tucks it under the wing and goes. Kick by Lucas back to centre wing. Lloyd is there again. Can't mark this time. Young had plenty of it in the last quarter. Tristan Lynch, hand pass to Champion. They're desperate now, both sides. Kick by Richard Champion. Inside centre half forward. Leppich is spoiled by Stevenson. Ball knocked on to Lucas. Hand pass to Cockatoo Collins. The ball knocked towards the boundary line. Kept in by Ashcroft. He goes short looking for Johnson. Mercury meets him with his hip. Ball still there for Johnson. And out of bounds in the forward pocket. And we'll have a throw in. We have just under 5 minutes left. The Lions clinging to a 4-point lead, squandered from a 6-goal lead earlier in this quarter.
And Mercurie's done some terrific things in this last quarter in defence. A couple of major plays just then. Dion Scott in the ruck. Champion over the top. Goes to ground. Berbakoff takes it over. So they'll toss it back. Lions by 4 points. And under 5 minutes left. Big chance for the Lions. Just 15 metres around from goal. Scott versus Somerville. Ackermanis. Quick snap. Great snap, Ackermanis. He's got it. Lions by 10 points.
Well, it was just the defensive matchups down there. Ackermanis and Pryor. You see that Pryor just left his side when the ball went into the air, and Ackermanis, I mean, a fantastic finish from there. I mean, he really just had to kick the ball virtually straight back over his back, really. It wasn't even a hook. Straight, he was almost facing directly away from the goals. But, gee, that was timely for Brisbane.
4.5 minutes to go. The crowd chanting Brisbane, 10-point lead. But 2 quick goals from the Bombers and they can snatch it yet. Whistle. The other thing was, earlier on tonight, KB, you asked me what the winning score was, and I said 15-12.
That's right, because they've had, what, 15-10, 15-11 and 15-13 this winning score the last 3 times these sides have met. So
incredible, isn't it?
Amazing scoreline.
It mightn't be the winning score, though, because it might get rolled. Cockatoo Collins, back to Moorcroft. Moorcroft to the 50, went a bit too far, smothered by Robbins. Bransberg has it ripped away from him by Dick Foss, and the ball out in the left forward pocket. 102 plays 92. The Lions getting the staggers in this last quarter. Bombers in attack for the throw-in. Like a school game, there's players just chasing the ball. They're all round it. Moorcroft wants to keep it in, but Fletcher makes sure he can't. And they'll look at the tension on the faces of the last home game for the season for the Lions. And not only the fans, what about the coaches?
Well, a testing time, because for Johnny Northey, a loss tonight could spell the end of their dreams of being in the finals. Fletcher, Lloyd, the skipper O'Donnell. This is going to bounce through. It's a 4-point ball game again. A 7-goal last quarter so far to the Bombers, and they still might pinch it.
Well, again, he's probably playing on the half-back line, Gary O'Donnell again, but Essendon just flooding players into their forward line, and it was just really the quick kick under pressure and through it bounced. Gary O'Donnell, that's really just taking the punt, pushing forward when you need to score the goal.
Been pretty quiet, the skipper. 8 posies. 3.5 minutes left. 4 points the difference. Last time they played up here, it was 1 the difference in the qualifying final last year. Remember, Wanganeen hit the post in the last minute. Chance to catch our breath again as the umpire will ball it up. You could throw a blanket over 20 players for this one.
This clearance is so important, Drew.
Oh, it's not a good bounce by the umpire. Dion Scott did pretty well eventually. Gowers gave it to O'Donnell, though. Cockatoo Collins thumps it as long as he can. Lloyd!
And great play by Cockatoo Collins, because often he'll try and take on opponents, but in that time, Lee, under pressure, he did the right thing. He kicked the ball as far as he could.
Just kicked it in. I must say, that bounce and the one in Brisbane's forward line about 5 minutes ago, if it's a really bad bounce, I mean, really the umpire should be able to recall and have at least a second go at it. Both those bounces effectively have gone to Essendon players, and they got the clearances.
Actually, the bounce favoured Brisbane because they thumped the ball about 15 metres. But in fact, what happened after they thumped the ball was won by O'Donnell, who gave across to Cockatoo Collins. But 2 bad bounces, I agree, Lee.
Lloyd to put the Bombers in front. Would you believe it? His kick is there. Essendon in front. A stunned John Northey looks on. Can't believe it. 2.5 minutes to go. And Essendon in the last quarter have kicked 8 goals to 4. Down on the boundary line, Clark Keating, well,
how's the blood pressure?
Get the gear on. Get out there, son.
I don't know what to say. It's absolutely astonishing that we've come back like this, but Differ's been saying there until it comes back. So all we can do now is play this last couple of minutes out and hopefully get a couple of scores on the scoreboard. Bombers, this Innisbrook bounce is very vital for us, and Matty Clark's back up there now, so we'll see how we go.
Bombers by 2 points. They trailed by 6 goals. It's been an amazing comeback. Never sell the Bombers short. Crashing in hard is Young. Loose ball. Coming through hard was Hardwick to Danaher. The Bombers out of the centre square into the forward line. Coming out was young McAllister. Couldn't take the ball. Caracella over the top to Denham. Tried to rocket the ball. Good interception. Leppich now in defence. Comes away. Kicks to space to Tristan Lynch. Cockatoo Collins getting back. Great effort by Cockatoo Collins. Into the square. The Bombers into attack as he pumps the ball back towards 50. Headed for the boundary line. Under pressure. The Bombers lead by 2 points. 104 plays, 102 lead. Just under 2 minutes left.
Fantastic play by Cockatoo Collins. He's coming back with the fly to the ball, but he kept his eyes on the ball, and they both went for the mark. Tristan Lynch and Cockatoo Collins from opposite directions. Tristan Lynch thought he might have got the free kick, but Cockatoo Collins kept his eyes on the ball. If you do that, that's fine.
So a ball up on 50. Caracella had the ball pinned to him. So next week, Brisbane have to go across to Perth to play the West Coast Eagles. Really, their season could be right on the line here. Kransberg pumps the ball back. Big play. Oh, Lloyd in front. No free kick. Back of the pack, Danny Dickfoss wants to keep the ball in. They need a score. Kicks the ball out towards the half-forward line. Lloyd has got it back to Moorcroft. It's been a terrific play in this last quarter. McAllister back to Moorcroft. He's booted 2. Quick snap, back to the square. Kransberg sets himself, he's got it! Sensational play by the Bombers. They've just kept on coming. And I said during this last term, when early in this last quarter, Drew, I've seen Essendon do this so many times before under Kevin Sheedy. They just never give in.
Well, they've certainly done that tonight, KB. No doubt about that. I mean, they've come a couple of times during the game, and this to give them a pretty handy lead with only a minute to go.
Kransberg, point-blank range, under pressure, he's missed. So still a chance for the Lions. The Bombers by 3 points, 53 seconds left, Drew.
We know it's 53 seconds to go. In fact, the scoreboard says 31 minutes, 50 seconds. So the Brisbane players know there can't be too much time to go. They really just have to look like kicking the ball long down the centre. It's interesting, the Essendon players are actually blocking up that part of the ground. When you know it's late in the game and you've got to kick in and you also know that you're behind, you've really just got to take the punt and go down the middle.
Just under the pressure, Kransberg couldn't deliver then.
The clock has stopped. A replacement ball comes out. So we might finish up with about a 34-minute quarter here with no major stoppage due to anybody being carried off or anything like that.
It's interesting the centre square at the moment. The number of Essendon players back there, they've really thought this out and out well. They know what Brisbane have to do.
Lions trail by 3 points, straight up the centre of the ground. The mark not successful. Comes to the back to McRae. High ball, no distance. Leppich gets underneath it, but punches on. Chopped off by Berbikoff. Taken high, no whistle. Leppich again, the hand pass. It bounces on 50. McCurry gets it out of defence. Lloyd unmarked near the centre circle and marks and makes sure he holds it all the way down and uses up a bit of time. Comes out wide to O'Donnell. Had to go back for it, the skipper. 105 to 102. 22 seconds left, and the Bombers have the ball. Berbikoff. The Bombers have never won at the Gabba. They've lost their previous 4 visits here, and just when the Lions needed it to just about clinch a place in the finals, up come the Bombers, second last on the ladder, and they're going to roll them. Kick by Berbikoff, short of the goal square. Huge leap, mark to Barry, mark to Lloyd. Siren! Bombers have won it. By how far? Out goes John Northey, disgusted. They've blown a 34-point lead in the last quarter, the Lions.
And possibly a place in the finals, Drew.
And Lloyd, who has kicked 5 tonight, 2 in this last quarter. And 10 marks, he took 12 marks last week against Collingwood. And what a champion of the future. And when you win the game by a sniff, and an individual can kick 6. What a contribution. He's lining up for his 6th. Gets away from him. It didn't really matter. The Bombers have won it. Matthew Lloyd finishes with 5 goals, 3. And down on the boundary line, here's Gary O'Donnell with Dipper.
Well, thank you very much, Drew. Well, Gary, 3 or 4 weeks, the boys just keep coming back, and we spoke to you last week about the endeavour this side.
One of the all-time great wins, I reckon, up here, kicking against a wind in the last quarter. Matty Lloyd, how is he?
Sensational.
Up for contract renewal, I reckon. So am I. I'll give him a little bit to stay. Yeah, it was great. Gary Moorcroft too. The boys really fought hard to keep it in the forward line in the last quarter. Never gave up. It's been the the example or our side for the last 4 weeks, we want to take it into next week as well. We're wrapped, we're great. First win it together, and it's a great start to our 1998 season.
Well played, mate. The boys are waiting for you. Well done, Gary.
Look out.
Good stuff.
Terry mentioned a name then in Moorcroft. I thought he was fantastic in that last quarter.
Yep.
There was 3 tackles he did, which, you know, probably doesn't show up on a lot of the stats.